Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be trying out an e-girl look. I think they're what we used to call emos back in my day, but I think a little more colorful with the makeup part. So yeah, let's get started.
First, I'm starting with the NYX Angel Veil primer, putting that all over and then blending it out. Once that's blended in, I'm getting 2 tiny drops of some rosehip oil and then blending that in. Now I'm gonna do concealer. I'm doing my regular concealer and then a tiny bit of a lighter concealer, a little bit lower on the face, and then I'm gonna wet a sponge and then blend it out with the sponge. Once that's all blended out, I'm gonna get some more concealer and put it wherever I need it. Blend it out. Around my nostrils is pretty red, so I'm putting a little bit more. I'm covering up the corners of my brows a tiny bit. It's not going to get completely covered because it is hair, but just so they're not as visible. With this look, I want my brows to be a little bit shorter than I normally have them. Now I'm going to do my contour with my contour stick. Blend it out with the sponge. I'm just going to keep blending until I'm okay with it. It should still look a little rough, but I'm just going to keep blending. Now I'm using 1 pump of my Face Tape Foundation by Tarte. I'm going to start off by putting it everywhere that I want a little bit brighter. And then I'm going to blend it into the contour just so the contour doesn't look as harsh. Now I'm using a dark setting powder to set in my contour. This one in particular is by Crown, and it's the Anti-Shine setting powder. Now I'm using a translucent setting powder called Mad About It by Pretty Vulgar. I'm putting that under my eyes mostly, and then on my forehead and a little bit on my chin. Now I'm using the color Tongue Pop to put all over my crease. I just keep grabbing a little bit more on my brush and then building it up. And I just keep building until I'm happy with it. Now I'm using the color Fresh Meat. I'm going to put that in the center of my eyelids, both eyes. Now I'm actually going to go higher than my natural crease line because my eyes are pretty heavily hooded. Really hooded eyes. Now I'm using the shade Coma to deepen the corners of my eyelids. Sorry, I keep getting out of frame, but what I'm doing is patting the color on until I want it, until it's as deep as I want it on both corners of my eyelids, on both eyes. Sorry you couldn't see, but I'm using the shade Cherry Soda to put on top of the shade Coma so it doesn't look as purple. And then what I'm doing with that fluffy brush there is adding a little bit more of the Coma shade and then again going in with the Cherry Soda until I have the depth that I like. Now with a very small fluffy brush, I'm using the shade Coma and then creating my faux crease because it's not where my crease is, but where I want it to be. Just keep packing that on. And now I'm using the shade Tongue Pop to blend out that harsh edge a little bit. Now I'm going back in with the Coma to deepen that up again. Now I'm dipping back into Tongue Pop with a different brush, a smaller blending brush, and getting the inner corners blended out. Using Coma again to deepen that up. Now I'm using the shade Tempera from the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills and putting that on my brow bone, right under my eyebrow. I grabbed a little bit more of the Tongue Pop from the Blood palette and then I just blend that into the Tempera. Now I'm getting rid of any fallout along with the powder that I had used to set my foundation. Now I'm using Tongue Pop again, putting that under my lower lash line, making sure it really pops. Then I dipped into Fresh Meat and then blended that out. And then again, I used Tongue Pop to blend that out a little bit more, just to diffuse it. Now I'm using a little bit of the Hoola Benefit bronzer to contour my nose a little bit more. Now it's time for eyeliner. This is a really inexpensive one I actually got at Winco. It's by Wet n Wild. It's called H2O Proof Liquid Eyeliner. I'm actually a pretty big fan. I like it a lot. So right now I'm doing the decorative dots. I struggled quite a lot in this part, and it's probably because my left eye is not as good as my right eye. I mean, they both need glasses, but man, it was a struggle. And to make matters even better, I got more eyeliner on the top of my eyelid, because the eyeliner hadn't dried yet and I started moving my eye. Now I could have cleaned this off with a Q-tip, but if I did, I would have basically had to start all over on that right eye, left eye. So I was basically just rolling with the punches at this point. I deepened the creases with the shade Leader from the Tartelette in Bloom palette by Tarte, just to hide the eyeliner mishap. Now that helped a little bit, but not enough so you can't see it, as you can tell. So later on I used black to deepen the crease. Now I'm using a glow powder by Artist Couture called Purple Dream. Using a fluffy blending brush, I'm putting that on my cheekbones. And right where I put the dots on my bottom lashes, under my bottom lashes, I'm going to highlight that area also. And then I'm going to repaint the dots on top, because they are going to get hidden with the glow powder. Time for some blush. Excuse my dusty palette. I'm using both of the top shades on this palette, the very pink ones, and I'm putting them across my nose and apples of my cheeks. Time for brows. So I'm just using the pencil to outline. Now I'm not going to follow my whole brow shape, because remember I did cover them up in the beginning, so they're not as long as they normally are. Now I'm not going to spend too much time on the brows, just because I want them to look a little bit more soft. Or effortless, as they say. I'm just filling in the spots right here where I need to. And that's it for brows. Here I'm bringing the bronzer down, my contour down, to soften the edges of my jaw so they don't look as sharp. Now I'm putting those lashes on. And next I am using the shade I used in the very beginning, which is Tongue Pop, to give my blush more of a pop. Now I don't have a freckle maker, a specific makeup tool for freckles, so I'm just using a brown eyeliner to make the freckles. They're going to be a little bit dark. They're definitely a lot darker than I would want them, but you know, gotta work with what you got sometimes. Adding more blush to try and soften up the very dark freckles I have now. Now I've grabbed a little bit more of the glow powder just to make my cheekbones pop, and then on top of my brow and my chin. So for the lips, I'm going to go for a snogging lips look. So first I'm putting on the lipstick, and then I'm smudging it out all around my lips to make it look like I've just made out with someone. I'm using the shade Stop Traffic from Too Faced. It's from their Peach collection. I'm using that same lipstick to put all over my lips and a little bit outside my lip line. Next I'm using a deeper red called Disturbed by Urban Decay and putting that almost to the line of my actual lip line on the bottom and to the line of my lip line on the top. Now I'm using Bane from Melt Cosmetics to put right in the center. I'm basically creating an ombre effect. It's ombreing out into the messy makeout look. Now I'm using Insta Famous. It's a lip gloss by Tarte. And I'm just dabbing that on just so I don't mess up what I did with the lipstick. Checking, and yeah, that's the lips. Now I'm using my contour stick to diffuse my double chin, make it look like I don't have one. After a little more touch-up, I put the Quick Fix by Urban Decay to get my face to look a little bit more hydrated. And now I'm gonna do the hair. I'm splitting the top of the hair to two little pigtails, and then I'm gonna tease that and then make them into really messy space buns. And then I'm going to, after that, grab some concealer and then start painting it onto the front of my hairline where I had already separated the hair to make it look like I've colored it. Lightened it. It's a really cool effect. It really looks like I colored it silver. Now some clips, and voila!
Well, that was it. Thanks for watching, guys.